Hi, today we're going to take a look at the Ace Magician Mini PC. It's a Core i5 with 16 gig of RAM and 250 gigabytes of solid state storage. So let's take a look at that. Switch to the right camera. There we go. So it's a nice compact square. Doesn't weigh very much. Um, Certainly a lot less than a laptop. It has good connectivity on the front and the back. So let's start with the front. You can see here we have um, headphones. We have two USB Type A ports, 3.0, and then a Thunderbolt 4 port, which was a very nice surprise, I'll tell you. On the back, we've got two more USB 3s, an HDMI display port, and a network card and the jack for the power supply. Lots of ventilation holes. There's a little tiny fan inside. Does a great job. Let me show you a couple images and unboxing. If I didn't mention already, this is part of the Amazon Vine voice review program. Comes in a very basic box, very simple, but it's well packaged. You open it up, there's 4 screws to open up the case. You've got easy access to the RAM, to the storage, and an adapter to add a 2.5-inch SATA drive. Comes with screws and a mounting bracket, so you can mount it onto the back of a VESA monitor if you wanted to, or wall mounted, or whatever works for you. 3-amp power supply, HDMI cable. Wanted to give you a close-up of the RAM. You can see it's two 8-gig sticks for a total of 16. It's set up in a dual-channel configuration for best performance. Don't know anything about the RAM manufacturer. Couldn't find them, so whatever. It is what it is. It's only 2400 speed, which is fine for an i5. I had no issue with performance. Speaking of performance, right? Take a look at a couple different things here. On the left, we've got the stats for the drive. Again, it's a PCI Gen 3 NVMe drive. Um, it's plenty fast enough. You can see the read and write speeds here. Down here, read is 2500 megabytes per second and write is 1700. That's great. It's a decent performing Gen 3 drive. Nothing to sneeze at. If you're into it, here's all the stats about the CPU, various benchmarking, and so on. You can see it's a very compact system when next to a 24-inch monitor. One thing that I did just for kicks, I don't plan on gaming with it, but I did run this on a couple different benchmark programs. And now, granted, I had low settings for quality, but perfectly playable. 1080p, so if I wanted to go lower, I could. But I was able to get about 40 frames per second. That's not bad considering there's no dedicated GPU in the unit. The other thing I tested was the Thunderbolt 4 port. I have got an external enclosure here. Now this is only a 10 gigabit enclosure, but you can see I was able to get 1,000 megabyte read and 1,000 megabyte write, which is exactly where it should be for that type of enclosure. I also was able to hook up the Thunderbolt port, Thunderbolt port to a 4K monitor. Worked fine, fired right up. Everything is really easy to get to. So in this case, I'm going to go through an upgrade to a additional storage. So I'm still booting off the faster drive here, but I'm adding an old solid state drive I had laying around. It's got the cage, it's got the screws, so you just mount the drive into the cage, and then you install the cage into the case with the included screws. Reconnect the ribbon cable. It's a really thin ribbon cable, so it's very fragile. feeling anyway, but worked fine, no problem. Let's see if there's anything else I forgot to tell you about it. We talked about the chip. Again, it's 11th gen Core i5. You might be shopping for an i7 or something like this. I had a 10th gen comparable i7, and this was about double the speed. So I've got no qualms at all using this as an i5. This is going to be primarily used for video server, uh, for popular streaming home video server. It came loaded with a Win 11 Pro, but the first thing I do when I get a system is I download a fresh copy of Windows from Microsoft directly. In this case, I downloaded Win 10 Pro. It recognized the license, booted right up, was perfectly authenticated, no issues whatsoever. So the license that's included seems to work, at least for me, on Win 10 or Win 11 Pro. Drive was, it's not on the giant size, but nothing to sneeze at, right? NVMe drives, especially Gen 3s, are very cheap right now. So if you want to upgrade it, you can. In my case, I just using that for a boot drive, and then I've got the other applications on that SATA that I loaded. It is Wi-Fi 6. That's what I'm running right now. Bluetooth 5.2, no problem. As again, I was able to run all 3 ports. I didn't try them simultaneously, but I did on different monitors separately. It's got a little tiny built-in speaker, which is nice. Nothing special, but you can hear it. And it has a fingerprint reader, which is cool. I'm not going to use the fingerprint reader. Like I said, it's going to be in the basement, but it's there if you want it. I can't think of anything else to tell you about it. I had one support ticket that I opened with them just to check on the Windows 10 license to see if it's downgradable. They were very quick and responsive, so I would have no hesitation fully recommending this for what it is, right? Obviously, it's not a gaming laptop or a gaming desktop, but it's a perfectly decent all-around performer computer slash media server if you want to use it for such. That's it. That's all she wrote. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.